Autobots, transform! Nobody summons Megatron!
What is up, Transformers family? George Reviews is back. Transformers are back on the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the movie, Decepticon, Megatron. Why the box isn't more Transformers the movie accurate, I don't know. He's like in the standard Studio Series box. It does say Transformers the movie, and on this panel over here we do get a scene from Autobot City, but why they chose to go more standard Studio Series-ish, I don't know. This is like one of the best depictions of Megatron from the cartoon in toy form, in bot mode, that I've ever seen. But I initially passed on this guy. I saw him like in the middle of September earlier this year. And I caught him at Walmart before I saw like the pre-orders being filled or any of that. And they had just put up those brand new Walmart displays that look so fancy now for the action figures. And I saw him. I had ran into a few other figures. I ran into like 4 or 5 McFarlane figures, and I was buying those. And I actually passed on Megatron because, like, look at the box. Look at all this space. And they got him right at that $65 price point for a figure that we used to pay $45 for. And I'm not one of those guys. I know it's inflation. I know tariffs and all of it. You know, everything they want to throw at you for a reason of inflation. A lot of people defend that stuff. But there isn't a lot in the box at that price. But for the size and what I see, he's very much overpriced. But anyway, here's the packaging. We get some artwork for Megatron over here and the tank mode right here. It says 54 steps. That is a lot for a guy like me and a channel like this. It could get ugly. We get Megatron over here. I don't know, it's some type of power level. Studio Series. Back of the box, we get the product shot of Megatron in bot mode, tank mode, and they actually show his weapon storage on his back. And then some stranger wielding Megatron's gun mode right there. It's cool that we actually get a gun mode because he doesn't turn into a gun. But who is this guy? Get like a royal blue arm with a red and yellow panels right here. So I don't know who that is. Mysterious guy. And right here at the top of the box, we get a clip straight from the movie of Megatron attacking Autobot City. This is right when Optimus Prime flew in and stopped all the bullshit. But alright, on to the unboxing presentation. Is unnecessarily long in these videos, but I still do it anyway. Let's check them out. And look, I mean, this is all empty box. They did the whole big old box thing, so you didn't feel like, hey, that's all we get. And this is all we get. Let's go for the tissue paper. Pretty sure this is the Megatron gun and the laser sword. We never found out who had the laser sword on the battlefield. Like, who dropped that? You know what I mean? Why couldn't they just have him use his energy mace in place of that from the first episode? Alright, we get the back barrel that's no longer a gun barrel. We get the laser sword. And we get the Megatron gun. And that is it. It's a tissue paper. One fusion cannon. And one mighty Megatron. Head looks a little small to me. Alright, let me get this. Oh, wait. Unboxing is not complete, so I go over like the little crap. He gets 2 warning labels. For whatever reason, he doesn't transform into a gun, so do we even need those? And we get a huge, I feel it, how thick it is. This is going to be a huge instruction booklet. You know we don't use instructions on this channel. We're going to fumble and fumble our way through it. We're going to have fun playing with this toy. And a quick glance at this. Yeah, it's a lot of steps. This, like, if you ever need the official transformation to a toy, this is not your channel. If you just want to have fun and we're going to talk about some real shit, this is the channel for you. Alright everybody, I am back. I really didn't go anywhere. I just changed the background. I didn't realize I left up the little cartoony for my McFarlane Batman Returns review. But we are back, and here we go. We have Megatron in more Decepticon-y background. And there's some assembly required for Megatron. We're going to have to take the gun barrel, which doesn't transform into a gun. And we're going to port this into his back there, a couple ports. I do not like the whole port system on modern Transformers that are callbacks to the Generation 1 toys. And we're going to have to take his fusion cannon and get it on his arm. Now, this has always been some assembly required. And this is just not accurate. Let me just say that already. I don't like this, kind of like a brown or a weird gray with gold swirls in it. If you can see it, I don't like that. It's also present on his waist. You can really see the swirls in there. Why didn't they just go with like a gray plastic? It looks like his hand is like a solid grayish black plastic. Why did they just use that? This looks so weird. And then it brings more attention to the fact that this just is not accurate. This should be a little bit thicker. And this part definitely should flare out at the end. That's not accurate. And right here, there's always this dial to adjust the actual scope on there. Maybe it looks better in tank mode this way. I don't know. This is accurate right here. This little hexagon, that's accurate. But that's about it. The barrel. This is critical for Megatron, and I think this should have been done better. And I'm complaining already. And I ain't even got started on the tank mode. So this goes on. Then it ports in on the side instead of on the top. But you can turn it and have this on top or whatever, but it's supposed to be this way, and then he can flex this way. But anyway, it works out either way. So here is our Megatron. Let's bring him closer, take a look at his face. Now the head itself is small, like I stated during the unboxing. It could be just a little bit bigger, and I don't see any problem in the transformation or anything like that where they couldn't have made it bigger. But it is spot on accurate to Generation 1 Megatron and to the cartoon. It's a gray plastic with a pearlescent ghost gray for the face. He has the red eyes. Then he has the signature tri-eyebrow over his eyes, whatever that thing was about. It calls back to the Generation 1 toy they put in the cartoon, and here it is. Wish he had some interchangeable face plates. That would have been so cool. And again, I think the third party to make the light up eyes has made it where you can change the face plates. I'm pretty sure it comes out on this screw right here, and I hate screw holes in my toys, but it might work out in our favor for this version of Megatron. He has a nice printed on Decepticon logo on his chest, outlined in silver. This square and these buttons and this rectangular are all accurate to the red and the blues from the cartoon, and the yellow down here is even accurate on the sides of Megatron's waist or abdomen, cartoon red. Coming down to his waist, we took a look at it. He has these panels to move out of the way for articulation. We'll get to that in 1 second. Gray thighs and painted shins. And this part right here, I believe this is molded plastic. I don't know if this is painted. If it's painted very well. The tank tray is just hanging out. You know all of this is the tank right here. You can see it all just unflaps and folds into the transformation. I might not have as much trouble as I think I'm going to have. So yeah, this is look at Megatron. As far as cartoon accuracy goes in a toy, he has it. This looks good. I like it. Not so thrilled about the price point, but it looks good. And you know, I'm definitely bummed out about this guy turning to a tank. But yeah, I mean, he looks good. He's ready to go at it with Optimus Prime right now. Optimus looks very good. So let's roll into Megatron's articulation. Of course, we're starting with Megatron's head. Megatron can look up, your side view this far, which is not a lot, but you can lean him back. And he can look down, not much at all. And then he's probably looking into his chest. But you can bend him over and he can look down at Spike or whoever's down there, Rumble. So that works. A little bit of side to side and 360. Not a lot going on in the head. T-pose for Megatron, arms and shoulders. 360 at the shoulder. Now this joint right here, I'm not sure it's his transformation, but it moves in and out. And you can get this out of it across the chest. I am Megatron, greatest Decepticon. Elbow swivel, elbow bend. Not a lot out of that. Then it comes down to his hands. He has these fingers. Now this is the same level of articulation as a Masterpiece figure from Takara/Hasbro has, which is actually kind of sad. The thumb doesn't move. There's some molding in it in the different joints. These three fingers are on two hinges. They hinge down here and they hinge up here. I don't know what these particular parts of the fingers are. And then the main pointing finger on leader class to commander class figures is as follows. You get the full extension on the index finger. It bends at the first knuckle and bends at the second knuckle, or vice versa. I probably said that backwards. And he can form a clenched fist to give Megatron. Coming to Megatron's midsection, we're not going to get a crunch out of that, even though it looks like they could have put something in there. A few hinges right here. I'm guessing that's transformation. But full 360 like he did in that one episode where he flipped off Optimus Prime and rotated and landed. Now for his leg articulation, he can kick to the front a lot and he can hold it even though he has this heavy ass boot. Let's see if he can stand up. And no, wait, we probably can distribute the weight. Now he can stand up on one leg. I know these feet are huge. He can kick to the back this far. Let's put them both together. And splits to the side. Ton of articulation right there. And these skirts rotate. I'm pretty sure this is transformation. They can get them out of the way and they flap up and down either way. So he can do that. Thigh swivel complete, 360. Knee bend, he can get it up high, stomping Autobots. Damn Autobot scum. No rotation at the knee, but it's all up here anyway. Coming to his foot and ankle, we get a rocker. Megatron can pull up a wide stance. Looks great. He has some front to back or up and down in there as well, and some extension, and I'm sure that's transformation right there. So a lot of articulation has been put into Megatron, as he should be for a leader class figure. While I'm on his feet, they did their best to make these things look cartoon accurate. They extended a little bit more in the cartoon, but I'm pretty sure it has to like function in a transformation or whatever. I'm trying to mess with it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to transform some way, somehow later and have to fit in, and that's why this is not totally accurate. A lot of people complain about the actual colored gray they use down here, and that really doesn't bother me, at least not in this mode. But the color that does bother me is this brownish gold swirl type thing. That really bothers me. They used this in the past on some Megatron figures, and since it wasn't totally Generation 1 accurate or Generation Cartoon accurate, I gave it a pass, but I'm not giving a pass here. I do not like it at all. Now, I think I missed out on the molded in detailing on his legs. He has some, to me, unnecessarily molded in detailing all over the figure that I don't think we need as far as a Generation 1, but I'm pretty sure it probably translates into his tank mode at some point. Moving on to Megatron accessory, he gets the laser sword, which I'm disappointed in that it is not two pieces. It does not come apart. And how hard was it to make it two pieces and just port in here? Because if you do toy photography, if you just like want to change things on your shelf and have them with the sword out and then and ignite it and run up and slash Optimus Prime, you can't even do that. And he has this giant port sticking out. But anyway, let's see if we can get it in Megatron's hand. I should have no problem getting it in his hand. Now I said I'm going to have a problem. And he already has the port. The hand, the thumb area is molded to make the port. And here he is. And now he can run up on Optimus Prime and slash him. And Megatron gets the Megatron gun. Now this is a kind of a weak looking gun. You could say it's like, that makes it more cartoony, but I don't think it ever looked this bad. The Decepticon logo only appears on one side of the gun. Hasbro, those cheap bastards. And why not give us perhaps the most famous gun in Transformers history, the random gun found at Autobot City, the hot rod planet for Megatron, that killed Optimus Prime. We get the Autobot City sword. But where's that random pistol he shot Optimus Prime with? But we get this for his Decepticons to wield, I guess, to kind of make up for this guy turning into a tank. And I've seen pictures of third parties that actually customized a tank mode gun for this dude. But yeah, this is kind of crap. This is very weak to me. Alright, what did the box say? 57 steps. Let's take some of these parts off. I believe they have to come off. I know this does because it becomes part of the tank barrel gun piece or whatever. So let's do it. Alright, I'm going to start with, I think, the chest. Wait a minute. We're going to open up the chest like this, I guess. And there's a part under here that folds out and locks in, and this folds down. And I'm going to push out the back to get Megatron's head to go down and rotate around. This comes up, there's a tab and a port. And it does that, and the arms rotate around and come on top of what will be the turret. These parts right here come together. There's actually a groove in there that these fit in, whatever these 3 cylinders on each arm are, and there's a tab and port system where they lock in to secure them. And this is pretty much the tank turret. I keep this up and eventually I'm going to rotate this back. I guess I can rotate it back now. And then most of the tank obviously is in the legs. Untab this and open this up. Open this up, and before this thing secures it, but before that, open this up, we get a tread, part of the tread out of here on both sides, hidden inside, and this locks it all together. Come over here and repeat the beat. Sort of kind of repeated the beat. Alright. And this side, it doesn't seem so bad so far. And lock this in. And we have to rotate the waist. And bring this part up. There's some tabs on his thighs that go into the ports right here on these flaps. And kind of hold this into position. Come over here and do the same thing. Tab and a port. Now we have the tank forming. Bring the treads up. There is a port right here and a tab right, a port right here and a tab right there. Saying it backwards. And we snap that in. Come over here and repeat the beat. And again, this is never the official transformation. And we got most of it done. We're going to accordion the legs up. Or what was once the front of his legs right here. And then we bring down the feet. And tuck them in and rotate this part under. Come over here. Once again, I'll rotate it under, and this is most of Megatron's tank mode. There's some port and some tabbing. There's a tab. I don't have it in. There's a port right here and a tab right there, and the same thing on the other side. And there are a couple tabs. I think I popped them in by accident. There are a couple tabs at the top up here. There's a tab right here and a port right here. The tab in the front of the tank, but it kind of lined up for me. And then now this part right here sort of snaps into the grooves of the feet. I don't know if it snaps, but let me see. Okay, it doesn't snap, but I got it pushed down and it covers up like the little space. And let's add the gun barrel. So you got to transform this. I think this is why it is not more accurate in robot mode. So, and there are two tabs, two ports, and this part rests over here. And we can get it ported and tabbed. And here is Megatron's tank mode. And it's not bad, but it's not good either. You got some hollowing right here. Wait, let me see if it rolls. All right, it's rolling. Sounds a little awful because of the plastic wheels and my glass surface, but it is rolling. There is clearance, and there's always barely enough clearance when they make these modern Transformers. Like everything fits in, but it's close as hell. So if you don't get it right, then it's a problem. But it is actually rolling on my surface. Now back to the tank mode. It looks good. Wait, gotta finish it off. You gotta add this to it, so it doesn't look dead ass like Megatron's fusion cannon just sitting on top. And now this works and it doesn't. Oh, by the way, the turret rotates full 360. This works, but it doesn't because it's like, it looks good, but the fact that it's two different colors kind of just blows it. Blows the illusion, you know? But it does look good with this added to it. And if you so chose to, you can add a blast effect of your choice. Most Transformers blast effects fit all the ports. Pew, 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 pew. All right, so let's finish giving it the once-over. Let's take a look at it. Some nice molded in detailing all over the tank. The panel work, the rivets look good. The tank treads and the wheels actually look good. It's really broken up right here. It's not horrible, but it's like, for this to be Megatron, you decide to make him a tank and not a gun, you're supposed to nail this. And Yeah, this isn't it. You know what I mean? Then you kind of get this space under here. Bugs me a little bit. Looks pretty good from the front. Nice molding detail carried over from the chest, and this little piece right here flipped out. As far as the turret, I don't know how much they could have did with it being like the two arms, but you clearly see this is a Transformer. If it was a kid who's never seen Transformers before, between 7 and 12 years old, he's going to try to transform this thing. You can see that you can just start ripping it apart, especially in here. So this kind of bugs me for it to be Megatron Studio Series, $65. Bothers me a bit. But there's some nice panel and line work compartments right here on the turret, trying to make it look functional. And you come to this part and it just breaks the illusion. And the equal opposite side, it looks pretty good, but I just wanted more. Then back here, where the gray from the legs transform into the back, I know some things can't be helped, and I'm not trying to dog it, but these panels should have flipped over somehow, and we could have got the same matching gray all over to help save this tank mode. Now, I don't know if it needs saving, but it just could have been better. Then back here, we get some molded in detail to sort of help the legs folded over, but like the back of a tank just doesn't look like this. Underneath, it cleans up pretty good. Like, you really can't see a lot of the robot. We see the feet, but a lot of the robot mode is gone because this part unfolds, and we get like one big wheel here, if you consider that large, and then the two little wheels here that we're trying to make it roll. All right, it's actually rolling better now. I don't know why. But yeah, this is Megatron's tank mode. And you could take his weapons and store it on the tank if you so choose to. And who would want a laser sword and a smaller gun? I guess some tanks have like the little machine gun off to the side, so they could when the guy pops up out of there. So you can do that for your Megatron if you so chose. We're going to start with what was once a one-time leader class Megatron and see how things have shrunken over the years and the price has not. Here is Combiner Wars Megatron, and this is the best Megatron tank ever. Here is Blitzwing Studio Series. Anyway, I thought he was Transformers the movie. I mean, they're pretty sure they're going to repaint, maybe slightly retool this guy and make him into the 1986 Blitzwing, which I probably will not buy. But here is Blitzwing. Earthrise? I can't even remember. Triple Changing Birth, the most recent Blitzwing that we got from these guys. And Warpath from, what is it, Siege Earth? I think it's Earthrise. He has the best tank mode because most of his stuff translates into his robot mode as well, but definitely the better looking tank mode on this guy. And I wish I was clever enough to call out which specific tanks these are supposed to be. I'm pretty sure they're all different tank designs. They're not meant to be the exact same tank, but I don't know that much about tanks, and this is what we got. Now to compare Megatron's tank mode next to some Generation 1 art. And yes, there's artwork for Generation 1 Megatron as a tank. And here it is, and here we go. Now this looks more like the Combiner Wars tank and looks nothing like this tank. There's a convincing turret on the artwork that's not over here. You know, I'm not going to beat it up. You see it for yourself. Jumping back into robot mode and rolling on with the comparisons. Here is Blitzwing, Warpath, and Combiner Wars Megatron. Next up, we have the masterpiece MP36 Megatron, arguably the greatest Megatron figure ever made officially from Hasbro to card. It transforms into a gun. And now for the comparison I've been waiting for, 1986 Studio Series Optimus Prime versus Megatron. These guys can have it out one more time, and in my version, Optimus Prime does not die. In the movie, he shoots a hole through Hot Rod's chest and blasts Megatron in the shoulder, making him drop the gun. Then he stomps Megatron's face into the ground. The end. This is how they stand head to head. Megatron is a bit taller, which he should be, I think. Don't argue with me in the comments. That's just how I feel about mine. Back to back, and these guys actually look very, very good together. But what is weird about these two guys and the way they released them is that some asshole at Hasbro decided to give Optimus Prime the Energy Axe and Megatron the laser sword from Transformers the movie, which kind of doesn't line up. You can play with it, don't get me wrong. I mean, it like works. Megatron, you know what I mean? We can do it, but it just didn't go together. And my thing is, where is the energy mace? He should have had both because he's really light on accessories. I mean, I don't count the barrel for his back as an accessory, and I don't count the fusion cannon as an accessory. That's Megatron. So he comes with these two accessories at $65 with no energy mace. Continuing to size up and run down, we have Earthrise Starscream with a little size comparison if you don't want to upgrade to the new jets coming soon. See how these guys scale side by side, and it looks pretty good to me. And I also wanted to show that this Starscream can wield this Megatron's Generation 1 gun mode in his hand with no problem. Fits right in the port. But what looks even better is the Generation 1 gun mode that came with most of the reissue Starscream, Skywarps, and Thundercrackers that you can plug into this hand just fine, and it looks even better on this guy than the one that came with this new Megatron. Alright, my Transformers family, now for the wrap up on our Studio Series 1986 Transformers the movie Megatron, and I put most of my thoughts into the video throughout the shoot, so you kind of know what I think about the toy. I want to rate it overall. The robot mode, separately from the tank mode. The robot mode, I give a strong 8. It looks good. Everything screams Megatron. The shape of the chest, the waist, they nailed the thighs, and to me, the legs. People complained about the legs even before it came out, but the legs look good too. So I give the overall robot mode an 8. It would have been higher if the head was a little bit larger. I would have gave it an 8.5. And if the fusion cannon was more accurate, I would have gave the robot mode at least a 9, maybe 9.5. But the fusion cannon not being more cartoon and Generation 1 toy accurate really bugs me. And I understand, or at least I think they had to change it or design it to where it fit and function better into the tank mode. So I kind of give it a pass. I get it, but I still didn't like it. But solid robot mode. Now switching to the tank mode. The tank mode, again, without trying to be that old school guy drawing the comparisons to the gun. I really wanted the gun. I let it go throughout the video, but we didn't get that. We got the tank, and they just could have did better on the tank. And I'm not down on it because it's not a gun. It's just not a very good tank for a Studio Series figure, and for it to be the Decepticon leader Megatron, and for this thing to be 60 and after taxes $65. So I give the tank mode, I give it a 7. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7. And that's a bit of a stretch. I'll give it a 7 because it's solid. Everything tabbed together and locked together well. It rolled decently on my glass table. It probably rolls better on other surfaces. But it's decent. It's not bad, but it's not great either. So, but in the end, if I had to recommend this to somebody overall based on the price and what we got from it, the price point in that tank mode puts me at a no. So yeah, I'm not going to keep going into detail because I believe I added all the details throughout the videos. And that's all I got for you guys. I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of George Reviews. The reviews were every toy.
Quiet! We want